Hello and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Mark. I've decided my girl and I, Nikki and I, were talking the other day about big noodles and different things that you can do with really big noodles. And I was in the store getting a few things yesterday, and guess what I found? I found some really big Manicotti noodles, some really large ones. Now I'm only going to be making half of this pack. See, fortunately, they come in their own individual trays. Now here's some large noodles, okay? These are big noodles. These are stuffing noodles, okay? And I'm only going to do half the pack because there's a recipe that's on this pack for stuffing these things. So I'm going to keep this right handy right here, and I'm going to be reading off of this to make these. Now, this recipe is to cook the whole box, but I'm only going to make half the box, so I'm cutting everything in half. Where it calls for a pack of the noodles, I'm going to use a half a pack. Where it calls a pound of ground beef, I'm going to use a half a pound, and blah, blah, blah. So, cutting everything in half, now I've got my water here. I just need to add some oil. In cooking pasta, it's always good to put some oil in. These are big noodles, lots of pasta, plenty of oil. Plenty of oil. Now, my meat was frozen and is still frozen, so I've got to continue thawing it a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and start preparing some of the other stuff that I have, the ingredients. It calls for a half of an onion. Well, cut half an onion in half, and when you got quarter of an onion. So I've got a quarter of an onion there. It calls for 2 large cloves of garlic. I have 2 small cloves to make up the difference. One really small one. It calls for frozen spinach. I have frozen broccoli instead. Ricotta cheese, pasta sauce. This is mushroom and green bell pepper pasta sauce, and of course mozzarella cheese. Now I didn't have enough mozzarella cheese to make even half this recipe, so I mixed a little bit of what I had, some regular mild cheddar, shredded mild cheddar cheese in with it to make up the difference. There should be enough there now. But anyway, those are the things that I need to get this done. And I'm going to go ahead now. I hear the microwave is just shut off. Now I don't know if my meat is thawed enough yet. So I'm going to check it out. Maybe turn it over. It is still quite frozen. So I'm going to put it in for 1 more minute. See, this microwave is very old and very weak. It takes longer to do things with it. It only has one setting, weak. Okay, now my onions, this is for the sauce, okay, that's going to go over the top of everything before it goes into the oven. That's later, but there's quite a lot of stuff to do prior to that. So these all get cooked in with the meat, the onions and the garlic all gets cooked into the meat, and chop that very fine. Crush it first and then chop it very, very fine. The garlic, I don't want any large pieces of garlic in there. I want just little tiny slivers. Okay. So we get these prepared real quickly. The water is beginning to heat up over there. See, I get some things started ahead of time because they just take, you know, it's prep stuff and it takes too long to do while and I want to keep everything going smoothly in the videos that I make, so I make some things a little bit ahead of time. Or I actually don't make anything, but I will prepare some things ahead of, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's all good. Alright. So we got the garlic and onions are ready to go. They go in with the meat. They go in with the meat. According to these directions. Now, that's the way I would do it. Okay. It says, skillet, brown the meat, pour off the fat, add the onions and garlic, cook until tender. Okay, so the water is boiling here. Now this only cooks for 7 minutes. Yes, it says 7 minutes to prepare the noodles, you know, for them to be ready to use. Because they're going to be cooking more in the oven later. But that water is boiling now, so I'm going to get them noodles in there nice and quick. Get them all in there at the same time. Set my timer for 7 minutes. Take out my spoon. Very gently give them a stir so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my meat going, which the pan has already preheated. And the meat is thawed. It's in there to cook. Now I have to wash off my microwave dish because I did not put that in a plate like I should have. So we'll give that a quick wash off right there, no big deal. Put that right back in there. This goes down in there. Give these noodles another good stir, make sure they're not stuck to the pan. Now, meat's still a little bit frozen in the middle. That's okay. It will cook. It's on the most part thawed and is cooking. So it's doing good. And let that go ahead and brown in there. I might just cover it up because that will help it a little bit retain the heat, thaw, and cook it better. So I'll do that. Let that go ahead and cook a little bit. I've just got that on a low medium heat there. Might turn up just a hair and cover it up. Give these noodles a good stir again over here. I just don't want them sticking to the bottom. Leaving them on a good rapid boil. Neat little tray they come in. Keeps them safe so they don't get all busted up. I have a nice strawberry banana smoothie, non-alcoholic. I can't touch alcohol, so, but that's very good there. That almost qualifies as food all by itself. Okay. Very delicious food at that. Okay, I don't think I have anything to worry about them sticking on the bottom anymore. They're good. They're cooking. They've started. They're getting larger. Looking good. Okay, the meat, I'll bet you, is thawed to the point that I can finish breaking it up now. Yeah, it is. Still a little crispy in places, frozen a bit, but that's alright. I like to take meats from frozen to cooked as quickly as possible. I don't like to let them sit around. Never a good idea to let raw meat sit around. If you're gonna let it thaw out, but keep an eye on it, and as soon as it is thawed, get it cooked thoroughly. Don't let it sit around, because it will go bad. Meat is, after all, perishable. Yes, meat is perishable. So, now, since I'm using this as a sauce, you know, this is a meat sauce to go over the top of my noodles, I can't afford to leave the meat just a little bit chunky in there. I don't want to break it up too much. So just a little bit chunky in there. And then I'll just let that go ahead and I'll cover that up. Let that go ahead and continue to cook some more there. And you know what? As that's cooking, I don't see any problem with going ahead and putting the onions and the garlic in there as well, to let them go ahead and cook too. More cooked is better than not less cooked in the case of onions and garlic. So I did throw some on the floor. Pick that up really quick. Give my hands a wash. Go back to work over here. Okay. I put some veggies, and as always, when you put veggies on to cook, give them just a touch of salt to retain their flavor. And I'm going to go ahead and break them up, stir them up a little bit in there. Get them stirred a little bit in there. That's good. Just like that. Now, go ahead and cover that up. And let that cook just as is. I got 2 more minutes on these, and they're doing very well. They're doing very well. This is the first time I ever make this particular dish, which is why I'm doing everything according to the directions as much as possible here. Might vary a little bit, but not much. Not yet. First time around, try to follow the directions. Okay. So now I've got that all going. Everything is almost done there. Stir in the pasta sauce as soon as the meat and onions and garlic are finished cooking. I stir in the pasta sauce and stir in the pasta sauce. Okay, then in another bowl, in this bowl, I will have to start mixing the other stuff. Combine 2 cups mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, spinach, eggs. Okay, so that's it for the noodles. Now these noodles are not cooked al dente. They're just started to cook, okay? They're going to finish cooking in the oven later. Pour them into there so they can drain and cool. Get my pan in the soap water there. Now, my heat is off there. Good. Now, in this bowl, I got to start mixing some other stuff. Well, this is whoever washed this bowl didn't do a very good job. So the dishwasher is fired. Remind me to fire my dishwasher. Okay, now the bowl is very clean and ready to use, and I can start getting stuff ready to mix into here. Now this says in this separate bowl, I got plenty of time, by the way, it's not to worry. We'll set that to 350 and let it go ahead and start heating up. And let's see. Okay, it's still cooking, so alright, now I'm cutting everything in half. So 1 cup of my mozzarella cheese, half of everything that's listed there, the ricotta cheese, spinach, 1 egg instead of 2, Parmesan cheese. How much Parmesan did you use anyway? Ricotta, 2 eggs. I don't see any Parmesan mix there. Am I not reading this correctly? Shredded mozzarella, ricotta cheese, eggs, frozen chopped spinach, thawed and drained well, 2 eggs. Well, slap me in the face and call me mama, but I don't I don't see a measurement for how much of the other cheese to put in there, the Parmesan cheese. So I'll just guess. I'll put a little bit in. You know. Here, I've got some Parmesan right here, so just take a stab at it. Alright, so now, gonna mix this here. It's probably almost well cooked. Just about. I'll tell you, it's doing very well. Doing very well. Ooh, it smells delicious. Even though there's no seasoning in there really, just a little bit of salt. That smells delicious. The onion and the garlic and the meat and oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna let that cook just a little bit more. Actually, yeah, a little bit more. And then I'll put my sauce in there so that can start. So anyway, I've got to prepare my broccoli to be used. Now this has to be chopped fine to put in there. And I'm only going to put about half of the bag. Yeah, maybe about that much right there. Probably looks close to about a cup once it's all chopped up. But you know what? A little bit more. There. Maybe about a cup and a half. Yeah, that's better. And that leaves me enough here. I can do this whole recipe over again. I'll go ahead and stick these back in the freezer. Now, actually, now that those have been thawed out, they shouldn't be refrozen, so I'm going to stick them in the refrigerator instead. Alright, and these here, I'm just going to go through and chop, you know, kind of like this, because I want this chopped fine little pieces. You know, just is to put a splash of green mostly. Little bit for the flavor, largely for the vitamin, the nutrition, but mostly it's just for the looks, the splash of green to put in to the mix. And I do want it chopped good, and this knife is too small to really do this job, so I'm going to bring out the right tool for the right job. Yes, this is better. Now I can get it all chopped up. I want it nice and fine, so it's like little beads. Like little beads in there. Don't want any big chunks. that all really good and chopped up. Getting a little close to the edge there, so scoop it away. Alright, now we're talking. That's some chopped up broccoli right there. Alright. There. Now that is some chopped up broccoli. Okay. Very finely chopped broccoli to put into that. Now that all goes together, right? When it goes in there, let me see what it says. Put in cheese, spinach, eggs. Okay, everything, yes. Goes right in there. So put it right in there. The one egg can go in there right now. That can go in here. And I keep the shells for a specific purpose to use, you know, for my garden. You know, it makes good watering stuff. Anyway, so there's that. Now I need to put the cheese, and it says put 2/3 of the amount of cheese, which is 2 cups, would be 2 cups for the whole thing. So cup and a half of this cheese. Oh, having a hard time. I need more room there. I don't want it all over my floor. It can get on this counter here because it's easy to clean, but it goes on the floor, it's done. It's garbage. So, alright, there's 1 cup, and I will estimate a half of the cup right there. Alright, now I can put my cheese back in the refrigerator. And this is done. This is ready. Yeah, that's not done. It's ready for the sauce to go in there. And I'm just going to go nuts with the sauce there because I love it. I don't know how much it calls for exactly, but I put what I think it needs. And I'm going to give it a stir. Turn the heat down to low. And I'm going to let this simmer for a while I get everything else going. The oven is warmed up, ready to go. This is not quite enough sauce. I need more sauce. Sauce, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. You know what? I'm thinking I might just put the rest of what I've got now. There we go. I always do this just because, you know. A little bit of water, shake it around, clean everything out, put it in there too. And there. It can go in the garbage. And this here, yeah, that's going to be a much better sauce now. Once that's done, I'm going to let that simmer, cook the moisture out of it a bit there, thicken up that sauce. Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay, so I'll let that simmer uncovered, just like that. Let's bring that back up to a simmer here. Get that simmering. Meanwhile, let's get this going again here. And now, it didn't say how much of the mozzarella cheese, of the Parmesan cheese to put in there. So I'm going to say quarter of a cup. I'll put a quarter of a cup. That seems like a lot, but it's not really, because there's going to be a lot of other stuff in there too. So, okay, now, the ricotta cheese, piece of onion, delicious. Okay, I might as well put all of these overspill shaving of cheese in here too. Right in there like that. Now, let's get this thing off here. Oh geez, they didn't give me a tab to pull it. I hate that. So, just make a slice. Pull. There we go. And that comes off just like that. Alright, now, how much ricotta cheese? It says 15 ounce. Right? It says 15 ounce, so say 7 ounces, about 1 cup. About 1 cup of ricotta cheese. That needs a little more to go in there. I think that will be enough. Go ahead and put that all in there now. Ah! Makes quite a bit. That's going to make quite a bit of a stuffing. But those are really large noodles. I'll bet you I need all of that to stuff these with. Oh wow. One of them broke. I hate that. One of them broke open, but that's okay. That's alright. Right now, let's get this closed up. These knives out of the way over here. Put the ricotta cheese back in the refrigerator. These noodles over here where they're safe. Now, I can wipe that up a bit. Get that cleaned off. And I'm going to give that cheese concoction a stir. Aha. Let's clean again. Just like that. That still isn't simmering. I want that to simmer a bit. Of course, that's got a ways to go, I guess. Got to simmer that, so I'm going to bring that temperature up. Get that simmering. I want that to cook down a bit. It's too liquidy right now because of the water I put in it. So I'm going to let that boil down. So I'm just going to take my time, get that stirred up, and get these noodles stuffed. I'm going to need a pan. I think I better use this pan. Give it a wash real quick. And up on top of the refrigerator there, you know, it's got dust and whatever else in it, so give that a wash. Rinse it out. Now, let it dry it off because I'm supposed to grease it. The water and the grease don't mix. So, in that pan, that stuff is simmering good now. So that's good right now. Just leave it, let it simmer. Right there. Alright. You give this pan a bit of a grease down. I just happen to have some grease right there that I can do that with. And just quickly give it a grease down. Just like that. Alright. Okay. Now, let's give this a stir. I don't want to use that to stir that with. I'll use this spoon. And this is going to be hard to stir. Kind of thick. Kind of very thick. So let me give this a good stir. I'm going to take a little bit here. Well, this does look good though. It's very good looking stuffing. I'll show you in just a minute. A good close-up. This is why I put that green, and why I think that's why they put the lettuce in there too. I mean the spinach in there too. Isn't necessarily for the food of it, but for the color, just to make it, give it some color. Because you know, sometimes food tastes better just if they look better, they taste better. And that's truth. That really is true psychology there. It's funny. Okay, so that's very well mixed. I should mix it more because it's got that egg in there. And you want to be really thorough. Get it very well mixed. Turn this heat down a little bit on that. Give it a stir. Ah, perfect. Starting to sear in the pan just a little bit. That's perfect. In fact, gotta leave that heat up where it was. Just let it sear just right there, just like that. Go ahead and cook a bit more. It's got to cook down a bit is what it is. You know, it's like I said, it's too liquidy. So let it cook down a little bit. Alright. Now you want to see this stuffing there. Check this out. Put this away. This looks really good. See that? Oh my God. See how it looks? It looks really good. Oh, and now I'm going to go stuff the noodles with that. This is going to be the fun part. Stuffing the noodles without busting them. You know what? I think I'm better off to use my hand. Maybe. Oh yeah. Can stuff it. It's easier to do this way, and I don't break it. I'm not going to break it this way. I can get it really good and packed. And I'll turn it around. Do the other end too. Make sure it gets really good and packed in there. Have plenty of stuffing, so it's not like I have to worry about that. I'm even going to try to go overboard a little bit there. Ha! There's a well-stuffed noodle. Hell yes. Okay, there's one. This is the one that broke. So I'm just going to fill it. And then I'll put the broke part down is what I'll do. Maybe that will help it. Let's see. Get that good and full in there like that. Wrap that around. Make sure it squeezes good. Fills that noodle right up. Alright. Alrighty. That's good. That's good. Okay, so there's two. That's cooking really well there. You know what? It was a good idea to stuff them by hand. It's working out really well. Instead of trying to use a spoon to stuff that, that would have been a mess, I think. It would have been very difficult. This is working out pretty good. It's actually pretty easy. I like it. This is fun. It's fun. It's almost like finger painting. I got 4 more to do, and looks like I might be cutting it close with the stuffing. Huh. We'll see. Some of them are trying to break as I stuff them, so I've got to be very careful I should have washed them in cold water, I guess. That would have helped after I cooked them, you know, after I par-cooked them. Wash them in cold water, but I didn't. So we'll just deal with it. 3 more to go, so I gotta be careful, I guess, with how much stuffing I put in them, you know. Just make sure they're stuffed. See, the thing is, gotta go just a little bit of stuffing in there at a time and be very gentle and patient. That's the thing. Somebody with no patience wouldn't be able to do this too good there. They would have a hard time. But it's okay. You just take your time, you be patient, and you put the stuff in there. You know, just like that. Just like that. And there is enough in there for 2 more. How about that? I think I did this recipe just right. I might have just a little bit of stuffing left over. But that's okay. I can use that for something else. I know something else I'll use that with. Go ahead and pack them good there. Boy, it smells delicious. I better stir that before it starts burning. It's about ready anyway, I think. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Searing just a bit to the pan at the bottom is thickening up now nicely. Oh yeah, nice and thick now. Turn the heat off now. That's good. And I'm just going to let that sit right there until I'm ready for it, which is just a minute. Boy, this stuff looks and smells so good. Man, can't wait to taste this all cooked up. Okay, that's it. That's pretty much it, man. They're all stuffed and ready to go now. And I mean, some of them are overstuffed. It's alright, I gotta take a little bit out. I don't want to make a huge mess in the pan. But I mean, I don't know, why not? Make a big mess. Okay, get them spread out a little bit there. Now, see, just a little bit of my stuffing left over, which I'm gonna do something else with. So that's good. Might even eat it just as it is. It looks so good. Okay, now the goal is to cover this up now with the sauce. So I'll give my hands a quick wipe here. And I know that pan is hot, so I need this flat one to scrape the pan with better. And now all of this sauce goes on top of those. I'm going to cover them very generously. Very generously with the meat sauce. Now see, Nikki, sweetie, you don't eat meat, but that's okay. If I was to make this when you're here, I would make this with vegetarian hamburger instead of the ground beef. Right? So that way you would be able to enjoy it too. And I don't mind eating vegetarian. Not all the time, but sometimes is fine with me. Fine with me. Ah, holy cow, that's covered very well. I can't even see the noodles. Very generously covered. Can't even see the noodles. Okay, put the pan in there. And let's just finish, just top it a little bit there, here and there. Make it look really pretty. Okay, now I think it says something about putting more of the Parmesan on later. That's later though. Yeah. I got to cook it for 15 minutes. No, 30 minutes. Then cover it with Parmesan and cook it for another 15 minutes. Then it'll be ready. So for right now, it's going in there for 30 minutes. Oh, but before it goes, take a look. Take a look. Oh man, doesn't that look good? Okay. Now remember, you can't see them, but there's giant stuffed noodles under that sauce. Oh, I gotta cover it. Oh geez, I almost forgot. I would have ruined it. I have to get my aluminum foil and cover it. I almost forgot. Very important step. It's a very important step. So, yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the shiny side down. Right? Or shiny side up. Shiny side up. Yeah, shiny side up. Okay. I just convinced myself. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's the way I'm going to do it. Shiny side up. Okay. Now it can go in there. Oven preheated at 350 degrees. Set that timer for 1/2 an hour. Oh, going past it a little bit. There, now I have the rest of my Parmesan cheddar mix that I can cover on top of that with after. And it's just enough, I'd say. Just enough to give it a little bit on top. So, that's that. I got some cleanup to do here. And then I'll be ready. Let's see, I'm going to hold on to this for later. I got an idea to do with that for later. I'm not going to say because I don't know how it's going to work. But we'll leave it at that. And we'll put this stuff out of the way. Break my kitchen down and clean it up here. Make sure all the burners are off. Clean everything up nicely. The place was clean when I started. It will be clean when I'm finished. It's always a good rule. Okay. So, we get everything all cleaned up. And now, I am ready to go in there and relax a little bit while I wait for that to cook and get ready to put the Parmesan on top of it. I mean the rest of the cheese on top of it. Just tasting that cheese stuffing. Very tasty. I imagine it's going to taste even better than that when it comes out of the oven all cooked. It'll be better than that. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down. Nothing to see for a half hour, so I'll wait. We'll pick up when the finishing touches at the end there in just a few moments.